My name is Boyan, and I'm a senior at Classical High School here in Providence. I'm also the founder and one of the two coordinators, along with Luke, which, by the way, you should come up here, of Rhode Island Youth Climate Strike. We were founded so that high schoolers like us from across Rhode Island can come together and fight for intersectional climate justice. We strive to help our communities through education pushes, mutual aid funds, and actions such as this one. So some of the first activism that I ever did was here in Providence, where I grew up. In 7th and 8th grade, I realized that it wasn't really safe to bike from the west side to the east side or back, so I advocated for bike lanes in downtown Providence. I made a petition, I videoed myself riding on the dangerous streets, and I proposed a plan to the Providence Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, and I eventually met with Mayor Elorza. And the exact plan that I advocated for wasn't actually built, but lanes on Fountain and Sabin streets were installed in the next few years, and they still are there. And I feel that was my first real experience with how advocacy and activism could actually make a difference. My grandpa was an environmentalist. He was the president of his local chapter of the Sierra Club. So he was the first one who taught me about climate change, and he warned me that it's often overlooked by people or seen as not that pressing. My grandpa actually died 10 years ago, and nowadays we see the effects of climate change all the time, from the fires in California to the hurricanes along the Gulf Coast like Hurricane Laura to the drought that we've been experiencing here in Rhode Island all summer. But fighting for the environment, like my grandpa taught me to do, is no longer enough. It's not enough to ride my bike everywhere, stop using plastic straws or eating meat, though it's important to do what you can for the planet. What we're gathered here today to fight for is climate justice. Climate justice is about seeing where, what, and who is impacted the most by the climate crisis, and it's about helping protect those communities on the front lines. As an example, here in Providence, neighborhoods close to the highway and down by Allen's Avenue on the industrial waterfront have worse air quality, which leads to higher asthma rates. And these are mostly Hispanic communities. And that's especially dangerous during the COVID pandemic, when respiratory illness paired with coronavirus can cause death. I actually want to draw a few parallels between COVID-19 pandemic and climate change. In both cases, scientists have set out guidelines that we should follow so we don't hurt ourselves or others. Yet they're being glazed over by politicians for the sake of the economy. In coronavirus's case, that's keeping shops open when it's clearly safer for them to be closed. And in climate change's case, that's being so deep in the pockets of corporations that we're now only 10 years away from irreversible climate damage to our planet. There's also the fact that both of these crises affect Black and brown communities first and with the most strength. So if you use New York City as an example, when the coronavirus hit, those with money went to their vacation homes, and they're primarily white, while the virus ravaged poor neighborhoods in the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens. As storms and natural disasters become more prominent and more frequent, rich people are going to be able to move out to higher ground, and poorer communities will be sacrificed. In both cases, the science itself doesn't discriminate based on color, but the inequities present in our system mean that working class and poor communities get hit the hardest. So when we say climate justice is racial justice, we mean that if we're able to avert some of the damage that climate crisis will cause, we'll be helping poor and working class BIPOC communities in the process. So clearly we have a problem. So what can we do about it? Being here and at other racial and climate justice rallies is the first step. So thank you all for being here. I'm smiling, by the way. We have candidates here from Central Falls, and the Rhode Island primary is Tuesday. So make sure to vote if you can, and if you're 16, if you want to register to vote and you're 16 or older, you can go check out Roma with the posters in both English and Spanish. You can phone canvas with Tiara Mack. You could phone bank for David Morales, donate to Lenny Seo. We have a bunch of great progressive candidates running against incumbent dinos. That's Democrats in name only. And with our vote, we can get them out of office. There's also a shortage of poll workers right now because the people who usually work the polls are older and at high risk. So if you are healthy and able and 16 or older, you can actually get paid to work on the polls. I signed up to do it on Tuesday, and they're paying me $200, so.